blocks. Let's see how high you can get. Oh yeah, baby. Give it to me. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game, the best Magic the Gathering arena content channel for beginners and free-to-play individuals alike. Today we're looking at one of the best decks in the meta, playing best of 3. As always, we break down the deck list, we talk about the deck synergies and strategies, we get into our gameplay footage to show you guys some examples of some plays and breakdowns, and then we're going to come full circle with our closing thoughts. If you find any value in this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. So let's get right into it. We have Obosh, the Preypiercer. This is our companion. He costs 5. It's a 3/5. If a source you control with an odd converted mana cost would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. And the companion rule is your starting deck contains only cards with odd converted mana costs and land cards. So it's basically doubling all of our damage, double strike on everything essentially, without the first strike capability of that, right? That's very cool. So we have a ton of 1-drops, obviously. Fervent Champion, it's a 1/1, first strike haste. Whenever Fervent Champion attacks, another target attacking knight you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Equip abilities you activate that target Fervent Champion costs 3 less to cast. That's not applicable here, just ignore it. 4 copies of Grim Initiate. First strike, when he dies, amass 1, also a 1/1. 4 copies of Scorch Spitter, a 1/1. Whenever this creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker it was attacking. Oh my lord. 4 copies of Tin Street Dodger. This is a 1/1 as well. With haste, you can pay 1, and it cannot be blocked this turn unless by a creature with Defender, right? 4 copies of Shock, deals 2 damage to any target. 4 copies of Heraldic Banner, our first 3-drop. When it enters the battlefield, choose a color, red. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+0. That synergizes with Obosh very well. And you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color, which is neat. We have 4 copies of Light Up the Stage, Spectacle cast cost of 1, which means you've dealt damage this turn, and then you can use the spell as its Spectacle cost instead, and exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You get to play those cards as well, which is really neat. 2 copies of Phoenix of Ash, Flying Haste, 2/2. You can pay 3 to buff it up to 4/2, right? Or you can stack that if you have enough mana, buffing it up by +2/+0 every turn. Escape cost is 4, exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard to bring it back into play, and it escapes with with a 1/1 counter on it. I'm all over the place today, you guys. I should probably read these cards instead of just blabbling. 4 copies of Anyx Hardened in the Forge. His power is equal to your devotion to red. It's a 0 or X3, in which case the power is equal to your devotion. Whenever Anyx or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 Satyr creature token with this creature cannot block. If it had 4 or greater power, create 2 tokens instead. 4 copies of Bone Crusher Giant. Stomp for 2. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. It's a 4/3. Whenever Bone Crusher Giant becomes the target of a spell, Bone Crusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. These spells are accompanied by 4 Castle Empress. We can tap it for a mountain or pay 4 and tap it, like with tapping it, so pay 3 and tap it. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. And then 18 Mountains. It's a really simple deck. We are playing traditional today, which means best of 3. So breaking into our sideboard, we have 2 Blazing Volleys. Blazing Volley deals 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. 1 to claim the Firstborn. Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less until the end of turn. Untap it, gains haste. Red Cap Melee deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a non-red permanent is dealt damage this way, you have to sacrifice a land. 1 Grafdigger's Cage. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries cannot enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from their graveyards or libraries. And 2 copies of Act of Treason. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until the end of turn. 3 copies of Chandra, Alakite of Flame. A legendary planeswalker with 4 loyalties when it comes in. Costs 3. 0 of put a loyalty counter on each red planeswalker you control. Ignore it. A 0 ability of create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They have haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step. And -2 of you may cast a target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. You might use this, but it's incredibly situational, and I doubt it. 1 copy of Tibalt Rakish Instigator, another legendary planeswalker, 5 loyalty on this bad boy when he comes in. Your opponents can't gain life. That is a must-have for many, many reasons. And -2, create a 1/1 Red Devil, and when it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. So that's the deck, that's the sideboard. If you're interested in the sideboard guide, we do have a link in the description below that's going to take you directly to that. And just have that open while you're playing, and then when you go into your sideboard phase, identify which deck your opponent is playing, and then look at your sideboard, you sub things out, you sub things back in to make up for it, and you continue. And now you know what your opponent's playing, you know what your goals are and your objectives, and may the top decks be with you. So that's the deck list. Let's break down the deck strategy, or the lack thereof. It's a mono red deck, and it is a heavy aggro build, especially with your main deck. You are just playing everything you possibly can. Put it all on the field, right? Tap it sideways, deal damage, build up to 5, play your Obosh, and absolutely nuke your opponent. That's how it should go. You want to determine what deck your opponent is playing, and then determine whether or not you need to hold removal in your hand. Things like Risen Reef, I like to remove immediately. Anything that's low cost that has high value for your opponent. So there's a tapped Paradise Druid, for example. So determine whether or not you need removal or not, and then hold it if you do. If you don't, just use it wherever, right? But you don't want to get caught without removal when something that you need to remove hits the battlefield. So again, put all of your 1/1 creatures out. I like to put the creatures without haste first, because then you can flood the field on your second turn, and now the summoning sickness is gone on your first creature, and the other creatures have haste, so we're all attacking together, which is really nice. Annex, remember the double legendary rule. If you have 2 copies of Annex on the field, you will have 4 tokens made, because 1 will die and they both trigger, so they each make 2, so that's pretty helpful. Heraldic Banner is one of the best cards because it buffs your creatures up and it ramps you towards your Obosh, right? So it takes all your 2 or your 1/1s to 2/1s, and then your Obosh makes them 4/1s, right? So it becomes incredibly powerful and hard to stop. Opening hands, I love 2 to 3 lands, and I love a Heraldic Banner. Anything else, 100% flies, it doesn't matter. 3 lands plus a banner, lovely, right? You could deal with 2 lands of banner and then draw your 3rd land for your banner. There's 22 lands in the deck, so you're not going to have trouble finding a land. It's not like one of these 18 land red decks. You'll get there, so don't worry about it too much. But I really like to have at least 2, and 3 is perfect. And that banner just makes things so much better. Breaking down the sideboard guide, there's a lot to it. Take things out that are bad, put things out in that are good. If it's any wipe, right, if they have removal, you're probably taking out things like your Scorch Spitter because it doesn't have haste. If it's exile, you're probably taking out all of it, especially your Grim Initiate, because it doesn't have haste, and the Afterlife or the Amass will not trigger if it's exiled. So against Cry of the Carnarium, Grim Initiate is super bad. You're going to have to avoid the wipes. You're going to have to go fast enough to get around them. Try to get an Annex out on turn 3, so if they do wipe you, now you've got all those 1/1s, and you can keep building towards your Obosh and just smash in that way. There's not much more to it. Be sure to check out the sideboard guide, a link in the description below, for all of the ins and outs. I guess we were kind of breaking it down. Claim the Firstborn takes things like an Uro, Redcap Melee against Mirror Matches, Grafdigger's Cage against Luris, Act of Treason against things that you need to take that are bigger than 3. Chandra is really nice when you switch into game 2, just in general, to throw your opponent off, especially if they're going to do field wipes like Shatter and stuff, because now they know you're an aggro deck. You switch out some non-hasters for your Chandra. She stays alive through the field wipe, and you still have value to attack next turn, and then Tibalt against anything that's going to gain life. You guys get it. You understand it. Be sure to reference the guide while you're playing. Link in the description below. Thank you guys for checking me out today. I really appreciate it. I'm live on Twitch every single morning, 6 a.m. PST. I'd love your company. We have daily YouTube uploads. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hitting that bell icon for sure, so you're notified of our future uploads. And then we have a Discord of over 1,000 people now from all skill levels, beginners, experts, that are willing to help you out and coach you along your Magic journey. So you guys, thanks for watching. We're gonna get into today's gameplay footage and then come full circle with our closing thoughts. So don't forget to watch to the end, and we will see you in a couple minutes. Yikes. Playing first. It's a lot of land. But the land leads us into our Obosh, which isn't actually that bad, I don't think. So we're playing against Yorin. So, is it Bance Yorin, probably? Hopefully. It could be Jessica Yorin as well. If we can draw a banner next turn, mwah. Over for 3. We see a blue, we see a green, and we see white within Yorin. Unless it's Simic, but I doubt it. So we're talking Bance, looking out for Euro, right? Euro. Thunderkin Awakener, I find odd. Is it Yoron Elementals, does that mean? Maybe an off-brand deck, right? Not totally top-tier meta. No elementals in grave to bring. He's ramping. He can play his beloved creature. We're still 1 turn away. We could have also gone the other way and activated First Strike, or just in general tried to trade with him. Definitely Temur Elementals. So Temur Yorin, I think. Does he have Reclamation is going to be the question. Yikes. Another Reef is always good. We are dropping our Obosh next turn, which is going to seal the deal, I'm pretty sure. Let's toss that in play. We're coming over, Billy. Good game. That was pretty basic. We played our creatures, led into our Obosh, won the game. So, we don't know that he is Uro. We know that he has elementals. This would kill the Risen Reefs, but we have Shock to kill the Risen Reef as well. He's not gaining life. It's just getting rid of those little guys, I think. Let's bring in these volleys. Just specifically for the Risen Reefs. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Only his lands enter the battlefield. The creature cards go into his hand. So that's less than ideal. I think we drop an Annex here and a Light Up the Stage. We're keeping our banner. There's no removal, so Annex isn't as important, right? So just a tiny adjustment. We just want to deal with his Risen Reefs because that's what we've seen him have. And yeah. Our opponent will go first here, and we have our banners. Wow, that could be cool. Hopefully we draw our 3rd land. Please don't brick. Uh-oh. We're in with a little bit of haste, though. And we have 2 more chances to draw a land. Thunderkin. Nice. Let's toss that out. And we still have our volley for his Risen Reef, right? Which should be his turn 3 play. There it is. If we draw a land, we can play our banner and then use mana from our banner as our Blazing Volley. Big money, big money, big money. Oh yeah. And then the perfect sideboard play to deal with specifically that card. And we still get in for 2 damage. Already down to 12. Another. Wow. I'm almost glad we got rid of the first, though. Even though we could have got them both in one swipe. It's not worth letting him double draw or double ramp. Just take it as they come. In for 3 with our 10th Street Dodger because of our banners. Ouch. That's so funny. You can kill our 10th Street Dodger here. This is going to be the annoying part. Ouch. All right, Omnarth, Schmomnarth. Let's get our Obosh out. He's gonna wreck the field. I'd put it on the Risen Reef, why not? You gotta make them buff. Alright, let's just focus on Uro and this baby Luris cat, which I can't get enough of. Because we've seen Uro, we know that Active Treason could be a pretty cool card for us, right? We could take his Uro. That could always be fun. So he's like building defensives. I totally get that. 3 in the graveyard. Scampering Scorcher is very good with both Omnarth and Risen Reef. Right? If he has some sort of Thassa effect on his Omnarth, he's got huge removal and can kill our Preypiercer, which is so sad. Hopefully we can just get enough value out of our Phoenix. He's got a pretty wicked draw, though, so I don't doubt a secondary Omnarth, right? That's something I can kind of foresee happening. And we got no blocks here. We're just going to take it. Phoenix, Annex, sure. Sure. Eight damage is too much. Thanks to the banners comboed with our Obosh, it puts out, right? He doesn't have enough cards in graveyard to play his Uro, so he plays a creature with reach, which is totally acceptable. That stops me. Hopefully we top deck another Phoenix. And if he swings on me, I'll block with his, or with my Annex because it makes 2 tokens, which is nice. a shock, a Bone Crusher Giant. We have a few things here that finish the deal, right? 8% for Bone Crusher Giants, 6% for shock, 2% for Phoenix of Ash. Oh no, did he get the Aether Gust? Aether Gust sucks, but he put it to the graveyard. I guess he doesn't get an option because of his Cavalier. So we need to keep in mind that he probably has an Aether Gust in his hand as well. So that's not good. Right, he does have enough in his graveyard to push out his Uro. All of his Omnarth counters now need to go on Thunderkin, so it's more powerful and can pull out bigger creatures from the grave. Absolutely. Very nice. And now he's able to pull out this Trailblazer. Other elementals are going to buff up. Very nice. He's going to get us here. This is going to be way too heavy of a hit for us to handle. Yikes. This is a huge hit. Again, these counters should be going on his Thunderkin. He does need to keep some defenders, unless he's sure he can close us out. We have 2 blockers, so we're blocking the 6s. So we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's game. We'll let it play out just so you guys can see. But he's going to bring the Trailblazer back and just absolutely annihilate us. He just needs to attack with all. He's doing the math. All right, all right. I'll purge that cancer away. "13 messages deleted by a moderator. LOL. Just cleave. Gonzo. So he's finally going to bring in his Creeping Trailblazer for ultimate destruction. Right? Look at this damage, you guys. That's incredible. No blocks. Let's see how high you can get. Oh, yeah, baby. Give it to me. Yeah, man. Things like that used to upset me. They don't anymore. Cry. It is good against his Uro, but normally Uro's their only creature. They don't have a whole field. Is it an instant? Could we destroy Omnarth immediately? Doesn't kill Reef, kills Omnarth. We're an aggro deck. It's fine. Let's roll the dice, baby. Elementals are very powerful, right? Especially once they can get going. That's why it's so important to not only play first, but to snap those Risen Reefs in half as soon as they show up. We see a Molly. That's 2 thumbs up. And yeah, we get to play first, which means our Initiate. Second turn, we can play an Initiate, hold up a Shock. Hopefully we just keep drawing land. I'm going to light up the stage here to make sure we draw a land. Oops. There we go. Oh, it's a good thing we did. We got 2 cards out of the way, and none of them were land. Pays life for Trailblazer. Interesting. This is nice because we can Bone Crush that off the field, which is probably where he wants it. But we also get to play our Fervent Champion, which is good value off of a light up the stage, right? Still have 3 cards in our hand because of that. Holding these shocks for once they become appropriate. After he plays this Risen Reef. Not a Risen Reef, really. We have a second, so I don't see too much trouble just dealing with that. Oops. Oh, we should have attacked with our Tin Street there, but he just concedes anyways. Oh, lucky duck. We always play first. It's just a given. 3 land into a Phoenix. I'll take it. Only thing better is a banner. Haste, haste. Let's play our creature without haste out of the gate. And then on turn 2, we double haste. It looks like it's a mirror match, though. So that's going to be something we need to really take notice of. And whoops, wrong screen there. Yeah, this turn it doesn't necessarily matter. The first strikeout weighs us, so we're going to attack. Okay, we do have the block. And I say light up the stage, boy. We're looking for those banners. Getting those lands out of the way. And we are playing a mirror match. Let's get our Castle Embereth out. I think right into a Phoenix. And I think we just push. Right, down to 17. So we probably want to claim the Firstborn. Right? Because if we can play an Annex and use our claim the Firstborn on his Annex, the legendary rule will help us. We have our Obosh land next turn. Don't you dare! We want to put in 2 Chandras, a Tybalt, a Blazing Volley, claim the Firstborn, and all of our red cap melees. We're taking out our Scorch Bitters, our Tin Street Dodgers, and our Phoenixes. He's got the banner out first, which is very good. So I think he wins this race, sadly. We have to just go for it, though. This is very bad. Hopefully he blocks. That's good. That Scorch Spirit does way more damage than us. Trying to avoid land, just pulling creatures. He gets his Obosh, which we can block. Right? He's got no mana, he can't attack. Alright, Phoenix back out is pretty nice. I'll admit that. And we can make both of these Tin Streets... Oh, sorry, just one of them. Unblockable. We're doing 6, 7, 8. He does double damage, so we may have to block his Obosh with our Obosh. And then just pump our Phoenix for the kill. Right? I think we've got this. Castle Embereth could save him, maybe? It would deal 6 damage. Plus 9 total. That's totally fine. Okay, so the mirror match here is pretty grindy. You want to change to mid-range, but your opponent does too. When both players play Annex, claim the Firstborn is really good, like we talked about. But just in general, I think we want 2 Chandras, a Tybalt, which sounds strange, I know. 2 Blazing Volleys, Acclaim the Firstborn, and 4 Red Cat Melees. And then we're taking out our 4 Spitters. They don't have haste, right? That's really annoying. Our Tin Street Dodgers, because he's going to be flaming volleying those, right? So we'll get those out of the way as well. And then the 2 Phoenixes are recommended to be dropped as well, which I really liked that Phoenix, but this is the sideboard guide we're following. Link for the guide is going to be in the description below. Be sure to check that out and just kind of have it handy while you're playing, and then you can reference it during times of sideboard. We're still straight chilling. Our opponent goes first, and our hand doesn't look the worst. It doesn't look great, though. Keeping 6, tossing the land. This almost looks worse. Right? Not good. We'll play our Initiate just because when he does die, we at least get the Amass token, which is helpful. Okay. Still playing defensively. We're going to use our Bone Crusher Giant here. Let's take out that Fervent Champion. And then he shocks us in response. We're just an aggro match. Everybody's upset. Nobody wins. It'd be cool to have 2 shocks. Or have a 2-cost creature to drop. Annex, I guess, does something, right? Just for the time being. It's good to use all of our mana. He's down to his last card. He needs a land. He's going to take it slow, which is acceptable. I don't think Fervent Champion should be attacking, should it? He'd have to buff it by 2 or shock us. Right? A shock here would get us. No, that's fine. Playing our giant with our shock behind it on his dodger. Let's start dealing some damage and catch up. He's down to 1 card. This looks very favorable. Castle Emberth into an Obosh, into a Spitter, and he wants to Obosh next turn. Alright, that's game, you guys. He knows how it ends. GG's. Playing first seems fun. That's way too much land, let's be honest. 2 could be the perfect amount. I sincerely hope we don't get hung up. Yoron means that we're going to be able to play our Spitter and second turn light up the stage. That's pretty cool. And again, we'll pull up our sideboard guide even in our first match, right? So we can just kind of reference what our opponent is using. Probably going to toss a giant. Right, everything else is pretty important here. Jessica Yoren, Bant Yoren. We've even seen Elemental Yorens, which is Temir Yoren. What do we got here? Okay, this is going to be Sultai Yoren. So that's something to note. LOL. Let's just take our light up the stage here. Trying to find a banner. That's what the whole 3-drop is for. No. Getting the dodger out is nice though, right? Trying to fill our field. Having our Annex on field is just very powerful, right? Creating those tokens if he does kill us. And then playing our Obosh, much like we would a Torbran. So Sultai midrange is an unfavorable match for us. If opponent uses Extinction Event, it's an unfavorable match, but if they don't, you can win. I don't mind if he trades. Playing an Annex on top of our Annex, keeping the new one that can block, and then we get the 2 tokens, actually 4 of them because its power was greater than 4. Or no, sorry, we get 2 because its power is greater than 4, and we get 4 of them because there was 2 Annexes on the field. Oh, my bad. So post sideboard, he's going to be taking his Cry of the Carnarium, right? In the first match, we get to surprise them, right? We pop out Mono Red, but he's going to hit the sideboard and he's taking his Cry of the Carnarium, guaranteed. So in the second game, the Giants become a lot better. He's up to 4 land as well. He's an Indatha Triome and a Zagoth Triome. So he's got all colors but red, which we'll make up for. And he's trying to figure it out. Truly. Okay, Gemrazer's totally fine. We have no enchantments other than Annex. But he's just going to make a whole bunch of 1/1s for us. It could be much worse. Right? We are just dominating him this next turn. Yikes. That's a lot of damage, boy. Having your Scorch Spitter chip in for 2? Ooh. That's an unpleasant scenario. This is beyond lethal. I'm not sure what's the hold up here. Oh, Assassin's Trophy. That's still lethal, though. Hopefully it comes out. We didn't press decline. Assassin's Trophy's pretty cool on our Obosh. I'll admit that. So, sideboard, we are putting in our 3 Chandras. We're putting in our Tybalt. And I claim the Firstborn and an Act of Treason. We are removing our 4 Scorch Spitters. No haste, right? Just like last time. And our Dodgers. And no, sorry. Those come back. We take out our Shocks instead. And 1 Phoenix goes out. Our Dodgers come back in. And we lose 1 Grim Initiate. Right? Again, because there's no haste. So we put in 3 Chandras, a Tybalt. I claim the Firstborn and Act, and we took out 4 Shocks, a Phoenix, and a Grim Initiate. Trying to keep that haste. The thing about Exile is it doesn't die, so when he does use Cry of the Carnarium, we don't get the Amass from our Grim Initiate, which is kind of a bummer. Spitter activates our light at the stage if we absolutely need it. Paradise Druid's fine. I don't mind the block if that's what he wanted to do. Let's take our stage light first and our Grim Initiate down next. We have our turn 3 played out for us. And we're on 4-5 lands, so things are ramping out good, or like riding the curve really good, right? He's got life gain lands, that's fine. We just have pretty big, consistent hits here that only get worse. No counter spells available. He could use an Assassin's Trophy. Oh. Decline. I don't mind that actually being used on a Chandra that we have another copy of, right? Forgot about Paradise's tap for any mana in that situation, right? I was thinking an Assassin's Trophy maybe. He's tapping it again. He ain't care. Let's try it again. I'm sure he has multiple Aether Gusts.
Chandra, we need more control. Just let me burn. Say hi to my fiery friends.
Right? Obosh hits next turn. He's really going to want to hold another Aether Gust, I guess. But if he loses his Druid, there goes his blue mana source. So that makes us more comfortable. Interesting. Okay, okay. The Sea Dasher is actually quite cool. One of my favorite cards. A really cheap mutate And a really cool mutate, right? Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. Oh no, sorry, just a player. Draw a card. Any draw engine. Mwah, love it. Pays 2 life against an aggro deck. I find that to be absolutely incredible. He goes to a 4/4, gains 4 life. Kills our Chandra with it. That's not that bad, has vigilance.
I don't have enough swears right now.
Nice. Let's get Annex out. No attacks. Where's our Tinsery Dodger? That was a good play. So this is looking like Sultai midrange. Definitely. I mean, he has the white in here as well, which I believe makes it a witch deck. But okay, it is a mutate, yeah. Interesting. 4C mutate. Gaining 4 life every turn. That's going to be hard to deal with, let's be honest. Obosh can come out uncontended unless he taps his unicorn. We get to swing in because of our Fervent Champions buffing each other up. So they'll actually be dealing 4 first strike damage. Right, so we have 8 damage and then 14 damage available. So it's still a very bad situation to be in. He has to block Annex. You can't take 14 damage, but then still taking 8 is not a friendly situation either. Does he have removal? He's going to block and then remove the Fervent Champion. Just removing the Annex I don't think is good enough. Just cycling, okay. Right, we get the 2/1/1s now, which is nice. Obosh is on the field. A Shatter the Sky would ruin us. Deafening Clarion would just about ruin us. Same as a Cry of the Carnarium. He doesn't have any red mana though. I meant Cry, I said Deafening. Canarium and Clarion also sound very similar. We do have the advantage of having one game won, which is nice. Worst case scenario, we can Castle Embereth, all of our 1/1s up. Necropanther, interesting. So what does he bring back? Lesser than 3, probably the Octopus or the Druid. I really want to start playing more with Necropanther. I think that's a good combo. I love bringing creatures directly onto the battlefield. I mean, Grafdigger's Cage kind of zips that out, but he draws and discards here, right? And he also returns 3 or less from his graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, takes the Druid. That's fine. We get the lands. Let's Embereth it up. And swing in for the dance. Good game. The hand does not look good. We have the banner, but is relying on 1 land, something that we want to do. What? It's ridiculous. Should have kept our first hand and just played it out, see how it worked. Scorch Spitter comes out, turn 2, 2 Fervent Champions, and then hopefully we just continue to ramp into our Obosh while not being interrupted. Not having haste is a bummer, but they deal 2 damage, so kind of makes up for itself. Oath of Kaya on our spitters. More land. Normally you can complain about in a red deck, but when it builds into your Preypiercer, you can only complain so much. What I would cry about is a Cry of the Carnarium, a Ritual of Sideboard, Shatter the Sky. Treacherous Blessing's fine. He's playing Doom Foretold, that means, Esper. Tosses a Trawler. We get a nice preemptive hit in here before Obosh. And that's good game. We don't really have too much of a sideboard guide for Yorin Esper, but I can tell you it's going to consist of your opponents can't gain life. Shocks can go. Chandra can come in. Nothing else is applicable. Grafdigger's Cage. Maybe. But I don't think we should rely on it. Especially before we know. Our opponent goes first again, and the creatures are great, don't get me wrong, but if we don't draw land, it's not going to work. I think this is a lot better, and I think we toss a land. We could have tossed our Light at the Stage instead. That is equally as viable, I think. Grim Initiate is first because he doesn't have haste. Get that Summoning Sickness out of the way. Omen of the Sea is okay. He's going to be looking for his field wipes, right? That's really bad for us. One to the top, one to the bottom. Interesting. Let's play our champion into our Light of the Stage. Hopefully drawing our third land. Very nice. Playing our Annex just so we get value from it. Dealing with the Teferi bounce, that's totally fine. He should plus it, is what he should do. Negative. He needs exile on our Annex.
Suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
We're dropping our banner next turn. Plus our initiate. This is gonna be weird. He gets the exile. It sucks. Either way. There's no way we can bait him with just an Omen of the Sea. That would not happen. At least we get a swing in here. Right? Could be worse. We have multiple annexes for backup. He dies here as well. So he might exile our banner instead. Could be a good move. Leaves himself totally open for attack though. He needs to shatter. That's not good. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. We get close.
These little guys are great.
So if he does shatter the sky, we still have our Chandra to make those 1/1s that can kill him. That's gonna be a good game. We still have plenty of fuel in our hand. It's not enough, right? He can only block one of them, and that's 3 damage coming through still.
Next time, you're toast.
I think we want undefeated today, you guys. So this is a very powerful deck. Without a doubt, one of the strongest decks. There's no life gain here, so it's just straight up good game. What did you guys think of Mono Red Obosh? I don't think I lost a single game. That's what I have to say about it. This deck is powerful. It's one of the best aggro decks. If you're sick of Lurrus, you're sick of Euron, just aggro them out, right? It's not that bad. Everybody can climb rank with Mono Red deck. It's always been that way. It always will be that way. I know I've been struggling this season playing all of the different mutate decks, trying to be original, just getting thrashed by Lurrus and Priest of the Forgotten Gods. But, you know, they struggle against Mono Red in a big way, so that's where this deck really shines. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm live on Twitch every single morning, 6 a.m. PST. I'd love your company. Join our Discord if you have any questions or concerns, or just you want to generally join a community filled with Magic the Gathering Arena enthusiasts. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. And if you really want to go above and beyond, instead of just paying me with your time and attention, you can support us on Twitch through the tiered subscription program, joining our YouTube memberships. We've got a lot of really cool perks that you get there. And then, of course, our Patreon page. We have some new merch as well, so check that all out. Again, I really appreciate everybody just for their time and attention. That is the greatest thing you guys could ever give me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care, have a great day, and we'll see you later.